Tori Roloff catches husband Zach's bold move on film. Tori Roloff, best known for her role on the hit TLC reality series Little People, Big World, has always been open about the ups and downs of her life with husband Zach Roloff. From navigating their unique height differences to balancing parenthood and personal ambitions, Tori and Zach have shared many intimate moments with fans over the years. However, nothing could have prepared viewers or even Tori herself for the unexpected moment when she caught her husband making a bold move that would soon become one of the most talked about scenes in the show's history. The incident, which aired during season 23 of Little People, Big World, was initially just another day at the Roloff family home in Oregon. The cameras were rolling as usual, capturing everyday life with Tori, Zach, and their two sons, Jackson and Mark. What started as a seemingly ordinary afternoon quickly escalated into something unforgettable. Zach, who stands at just under 4 feet tall due to a form of dwarfism called dystrophic dysplasia, had long been an advocate for living life without limitations. Known for his adventurous spirit and dry sense of humor, he often pushed boundaries both physically and emotionally in order to prove that being little didn't mean living small. But this particular day, he took it a step further than anyone expected. As Tori recounted in a later interview, she was sitting in the kitchen editing photos from a recent family outing when Zach came in looking unusually determined. He grabbed a stool, placed it strategically near the counter, and then did something neither she nor the camera crew anticipated. He stood up on the stool and began climbing onto the kitchen counter itself. At first, Tori thought he was joking around, maybe trying to reach something high up or playfully reenacting a scene from a movie. But when he continued, clearly focused and serious, she realized this was no accident. With careful precision, Zach used his hands to hoist himself up until he was standing fully on the edge of the countertop, facing the kitchen window. "Zach, what are you doing?" Tori asked, half laughing but also slightly alarmed. "I'm proving a point," he replied, not breaking eye contact with the window. Unbeknownst to Tori at the time, Zach had decided to stage a dramatic moment for the cameras, a symbolic gesture meant to challenge societal perceptions of people with disabilities. By standing tall literally in the space where so much of their daily life unfolded, he wanted to send a message that limitations are often more mental than physical, and that confidence comes from within. What made the moment even more powerful was how raw and unscripted it felt. There were no rehearsals, no retakes, just pure emotion captured in real time. As Zach stood there, shirtless and proud, the camera slowly zoomed in on his face. His expression was a mixture of defiance, pride, and vulnerability. Tori, still processing what was happening, got up from her chair and walked over to him. She looked up at her husband quite literally and said softly, "You're amazing." The footage became an instant sensation among fans. Clips of the moment went viral on social media, with viewers praising Zach for his bravery and honesty. Some called it one of the most empowering moments in the show's history, while others admitted they cried watching it unfold. In the days following the episode's airing, Tori and Zach sat down for an exclusive interview where they discussed the now famous scene in depth. Zach explained that the idea had come to him suddenly, sparked by a conversation he'd had earlier that week with a fellow little person who was struggling with self-esteem issues. "He told me he felt like he couldn't do anything normal people could do," Zach recalled. "And I realized I needed to show people, not just tell them, that we can live boldly too." Tori admitted she hadn't seen it coming at all. "I knew Zach was going to do something, but I didn't know it would be that," she said with a laugh. "It was surreal watching him stand up there like that. It reminded me why I fell in love with him in the first place, because he never lets anything hold him back." The couple also addressed the backlash that inevitably followed such a bold display. Some critics accused Zach of seeking attention or using his disability for shock value. Others questioned whether the moment was staged or exaggerated for television. "It wasn't about getting attention," Tori and Zach remained firm in their belief. "It was about showing strength. And yes, it was on TV, but that doesn't make it any less real." Their sons, Jackson and Mark, were also part of the conversation. Although they were too young to fully understand the significance of the moment at the time, Tori and Zach made sure to explain it to them afterward. "We want our kids to grow up knowing that everyone is different, and that difference isn't something to hide," Zach said. "If I can teach them that by standing on a countertop, then I'm okay with that." Looking back, the moment marked a turning point for the Roloffs. It wasn't just a memorable scene from a reality show, it was a defining statement about identity, courage, and love. Zach's bold move resonated far beyond the confines of their Oregon home, sparking conversations across the globe about body positivity, disability rights, and the power of visual storytelling. For Tori, the experience also reinforced her admiration for her husband. In a heartfelt Instagram post following the episode's release, she wrote, "Watching Zach stand tall on that counter reminded me of everything we've overcome together. He's not just my husband, he's my hero. Thank you for showing our boys and the world what true strength looks like." The clip continues to be shared and celebrated online, with many calling it one of the most iconic moments in Little People, Big World history. Fans have created memes, fan art, and even tribute videos inspired by the scene. Some have even recreated it in their own homes as a symbol of empowerment. As for Zach, he remains humble about the whole thing. When asked if he ever imagined the moment would go viral, he simply smiled and said, "Nope. But I'm glad it did." In the end, the footage of Zach Roloff standing on the kitchen counter was more than just a bold move caught on film. It was a testament to resilience, a celebration of individuality, and a reminder that sometimes the most profound messages come from the simplest acts. And for Tori Roloff, who captured it all on camera, it was yet another chapter in a life full of surprises and one she'll never forget. Audrey Roloff won't allow Jeremy to work anymore. The news that Audrey Roloff may have stopped her husband, Jeremy, from working has sparked a flurry of speculation among fans of the popular reality TV show Little People, Big World. Known for their roles on the TLC series, which followed the Roloff family as they navigated life on their Oregon farm, Audrey and Jeremy have remained in the public eye, even after stepping away from the show. However, recent rumors suggest that Audrey has imposed restrictions on Jeremy's ability to work, leading many to question the validity of these claims and what they might mean for the couple's relationship. Audrey Roloff first captured the attention of audiences as one of the daughters in the Roloff family, whose unique dynamics, centered around parents who are little people and children of average height, formed the core of Little People, Big World. Over the years, viewers watched Audrey grow up, fall in love with Jeremy, and eventually marry him in a highly publicized wedding that drew millions of viewers. Their story was one of love, faith, and resilience, and it resonated deeply with fans. After leaving the show, Audrey and Jeremy focused on building their own life together, raising their two sons, Jackson and Oliver, and managing various business ventures. While Audrey has maintained a presence on social media and through occasional appearances, Jeremy has pursued entrepreneurial opportunities, including real estate investments and construction projects. Their lives appeared to be thriving, both personally and professionally. The claim that Audrey won't allow Jeremy to work anymore seems to stem from comments made during an Instagram live session, where Audrey was asked about Jeremy's career choices. In response, she reportedly mentioned that Jeremy had decided to step back from certain work commitments to focus more on family life. While this statement was likely meant to convey a shared decision based on their priorities as parents, some interpreted it as Audrey making unilateral decisions about Jeremy's professional life. This interpretation quickly gained traction online, with critics and commentators weighing in on whether such a dynamic is healthy or fair in a marriage. Some questioned whether Audrey was exerting too much control over Jeremy's autonomy, while others defended the couple's right to make personal decisions without public scrutiny. It's important to consider the broader context when evaluating claims like these. Every marriage operates differently, and couples often negotiate roles and responsibilities based on their individual needs, values, and circumstances. For many families, especially those with young children, balancing work and family life can be challenging. Decisions about career paths, time commitments, and financial priorities are typically made collaboratively, though not always equally. In the case of Audrey and Jeremy, it's possible that they've reached a point where they feel it's best for Jeremy to reduce his workload or shift focus toward parenting. This could be due to a variety of factors, including the demands of raising two young boys, health considerations, or simply a desire to prioritize family time over external obligations. Additionally, the pressures of being in the public eye, especially after years of reality television exposure, can influence how couples choose to structure their lives. Privacy and normalcy become increasingly valuable, and sometimes that means stepping away from certain professional endeavors to protect family well-being. One of the challenges of discussing high-profile individuals like Audrey and Jeremy is distinguishing between media sensationalism and the nuanced realities of their lives. Headlines often simplify complex situations, reducing them to provocative statements that generate clicks and engagement. In this case, the phrase "Audrey won't allow Jeremy to work anymore" implies a power imbalance or restriction that may not accurately reflect the couple's situation. Social media platforms, particularly those used by celebrities and influencers, are breeding grounds for speculation and misinterpretation. A single comment taken out of context can lead to widespread assumptions about someone's behavior, relationships, or intentions. Without direct confirmation from both parties involved, it's difficult to know the full story behind any given statement or action. Moreover, public figures often face heightened expectations regarding their careers and personal lives. There's a tendency to scrutinize their choices more intensely than those of non-public individuals, sometimes overlooking the fact that they are navigating the same challenges as everyone else, albeit under greater scrutiny. Another aspect worth considering is the role of faith and personal values in Audrey and Jeremy's decision-making process. As devout Christians, their beliefs likely play a significant role in shaping their approach to marriage, parenthood, and work. Many Christian teachings emphasize the importance of family unity, sacrificial love, and stewardship of time and resources. From this perspective, choosing to prioritize family over career ambitions may not only be a practical decision but also a spiritual one. It's possible that Audrey and Jeremy see their current season of life as an opportunity to invest heavily in their children's upbringing, knowing that childhood passes quickly. This kind of intentional parenting requires time, energy, and presence, qualities that can be difficult to maintain when juggling demanding work schedules. Of course, this doesn't mean that either spouse is obligated to sacrifice their personal aspirations entirely. Rather, it suggests that they're making adjustments based on their shared goals and values as a family unit. Whether those adjustments involve temporary changes or long-term shifts in career trajectory remains to be seen. Critics of the alleged arrangement between Audrey and Jeremy may raise concerns about control and autonomy within the relationship. These concerns are valid in cases where one partner exerts undue influence over the other's choices, potentially leading to resentment or imbalance. However, it's crucial to differentiate between genuine manipulation and mutual decision-making. If Audrey and Jeremy have indeed chosen to adjust their professional commitments for the sake of family, that decision should be respected unless there's clear evidence of coercion or harm. Relationships evolve over time, and what works for one couple may not work for another. Outsiders, including fans and media commentators, are rarely privy to the full scope of a couple's private discussions and agreements. Furthermore, gender norms and societal expectations often color perceptions of marriage dynamics. When a woman appears to take the lead in making decisions traditionally associated with men, it can trigger discomfort or criticism. This reaction reflects broader cultural biases rather than any inherent issue within the relationship itself. Ultimately, the most important consideration should be the well-being of Audrey, Jeremy, and their children. Healthy marriages require communication, compromise, and mutual respect, regardless of how those elements manifest in specific households. If Audrey and Jeremy are happy, united, and thriving as a family, then outside opinions matter far less than their own lived experiences. Fans who care about the couple would do well to offer support rather than judgment, recognizing that every family faces its own set of challenges and blessings. Speculation about someone's personal life can be entertaining in the moment, but it often lacks the depth needed to truly understand complex human relationships. Instead of focusing on rumors or perceived imbalances, supporters can choose to celebrate the positive aspects of Audrey and Jeremy's journey, whether it's their commitment to faith, their dedication to parenting, or their efforts to build a meaningful life together beyond the spotlight. In conclusion, the idea that Audrey Roloff won't allow Jeremy to work anymore appears to be an oversimplification of a more nuanced situation. While there may be some truth to the notion that Jeremy has reduced his professional activities to focus on family, it's unlikely that Audrey is imposing strict limitations on his autonomy. More plausibly, the couple has made a joint decision based on their evolving priorities and the needs of their household. As with all matters involving public figures, it's essential to approach such topics with empathy, critical thinking, and an awareness of media bias. Rather than jumping to conclusions or perpetuating unverified claims, we can foster healthier conversations by acknowledging the complexity of relationships and respecting individuals' right to privacy. Audrey and Jeremy's story is still unfolding, and only they know the full truth behind their choices. As observers, our role isn't to dictate how they should live their lives, but to extend grace, understanding, and encouragement as they navigate the joys and challenges of marriage, parenthood, and personal growth.